Let's hear about a setback. When we hear that term, what's it mean? What's it matter?
Yeah.
Give us the download.
So a setback is locally regulated by your local jurisdiction, and then many times if you have an HOA, you'll have additional setbacks that are stricter than your jurisdiction. So it falls onto the stricter of the two. So if the city says 10, your HOA says 15, you're 15. There's different setbacks. Accessory structures usually can be, in our market, 5 feet from the back wall, but the house has to be 15 feet or 25 feet. So it really just started in fire, to prevent fire. And, you've got these single family homes. Let's make them at least 5 feet on each side apart, so they're 10 feet from each other, so fires don't spread as easily. So it started to kind of as a safety thing, and then I think there's probably an aesthetic quality to it. You go to some other unregulated countries and there's no setback laws. They just build right up on the property line. And some older cities have 0 setbacks as well. We actually have some zoning classifications here. If your project makes sense, the city will allow different setbacks, but then you have to fireproof your eaves and just your different considerations. And then there's a marketability. I think people expect certain setbacks and certain room between neighbors that is very market sensitive. So some markets might have 10 on each side, and if a buyer saw something that was 5, they go, oh my God, these houses are right on top of each other.
You can feel it, yeah.
For us, that's normal, in most of the growing suburban markets.
Yep.
So it's just
and rural zoning, if you get out into, even in the valley here, I mean, there are areas where you get a little
have to be
further
25
from
feet
it.
off the road instead of 20 feet. So I overall spend a lot of time thinking about setbacks. Setbacks dictate your building envelope. So not so much in our country club lots, those are very irregular, and we have to worry about the setbacks, but generally I don't, especially with my product line, I don't take up the lot. I don't take up anywhere near the lot. But in our next round of subdivisions, those neighborhoods, I have different zoning classifications, depending on what kind of zoning I got, and I have to form the building envelope based off of that, and ideally have some replication so that this lot might be slightly irregular, but have to go with its setbacks, and okay, that means it has to be this narrow, but then the next lot doesn't have that same limitation. Do you want to design a completely unique house for the next lot? So you want to kind of have that replication, but your setbacks are, what really kind of informs your building envelope, and therefore informs the size of your home and kind of the overall look and feel of the neighborhood. And I generally like to do a little bit more than the minimum setback just to give the neighborhood a better feel, but overall it's just, you're in the business of selling square footage. So if I have an RS6 zoned neighborhood and it's 6,000 square foot home sites and it's 5 feet on each side, for that neighborhood depends a lot. I've got to build 3,500 square foot homes there. To build 3,500, I have to take up the whole lot. So it's different in production versus building in country clubs or in kind of more custom enclaves, true luxury homes.
Sure.
So that's setback.
Good. All right. That's setback.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Now you know.